Welcome back to Console Clash, Cubed 3's series of videos talking about how the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are pitted against one another to see which one turns out to be the best. I'm joined by Sandy Kirchner-Wilson.
Hey.
And Luke Hemming.
Hello.
And the three of us, or rather the two of them, are going to discuss the features and everything else about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. And we've been doing this now for a couple of weeks and discussing the various different features. This time we're going to talk about the UI, the user interface of both the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 and how they differ. Now let's go to the PlayStation 5 first. Sandy, going from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, how different is it and how do you find the UI right now?
So the UI itself is totally different. The actual skin for it feels a bit like PS4 and PS3 sort of married. So your home screen has, say, your list of games in, I think, the order you last played them, which isn't necessarily how you want them to be. I mean, I personally on the PS4 put them in folders and things like that. You've got your game library page, which is it's all right. There's not a lot of sort options, and your PlayStation Plus content's mixed into it. And obviously, by pressing up from your game list, you've got your options, your accounts, and surprisingly, not what are my friends, what's my party doing, which is what I would expect to see somewhere on that home screen. And then obviously you've got press the home button, it brings up another menu, like a sub menu, and has game progress, news, your peripherals and various connections. It's all skinned really nicely. I mean, it's very shiny, lots of little animations going on, very fast, a lot faster than the PS4's menu was. Yeah, it's not bad.
In terms of finding things though, how easy is it? Like, if you wanted to find where your current downloads are, where would you intuitively go to look?
So it's located in the same place it was in PS4. So you go all the way to the right of your list, and that'll open up your game library, so to speak. But once you've done that, you have to then click on a separate filter arrow to say, show me what's installed. And that'll show you what's on the console and what's on external storage in two separate lists. The lists themselves are big game splash screens, which isn't always the easiest to just quickly glance through, but it's passable. It's similar to the PS4 in that respect.
See, when I was trying to find something that I was downloading, I had to press the PlayStation Home button and then scroll down the bottom of that to then go to downloads. But it took me ages to figure out where that was. I was
active downloads. Definitely a small contestant point where it feels like it should be a lot more obvious, but yeah, you do have to hit that home button, scroll along to, I think it's like 3 or 4 clicks, and you've got your downloads and uploads button, and then you click on that, and then you click show me all, and then it puts you on the list of downloads. It's not in a simple place to find. However, and it's something I haven't used a lot, but it does exist. It has a universal search function. So when you press up and you go to the right twice, I think there's a little search icon. If you click on that, you can search for absolutely any feature that the PS4 has, and a PS5 has, and it should bring up a menu screen for you.
Okay.
Can't speak for how accurate it is because I've not used it, but it is a universal search function that should clear up a lot of confusion.
It's pretty fast, it's pretty speedy. You can find things on there. Like you say, it's married the PS3 and PS4 interfaces. Luke, going to the Xbox then, how does that differ from, let's say, the evolution of the dashboard from the 360 to the Xbox One to now? Any differences?
Not a lot of differences, but that's perfect. Like, they haven't reinvented the wheel. If I want to know where my downloads are, quick tap on the X on my controller, and I've got the list on the left. It's more, what would be intelligent, maybe is the word. It knows what you're trying to do and shows you everything there, right in front of you. PS5 barren. As Sandy said, the features are there, but where are they? Everything with the Xbox is right in front of me. One tap, one movement across, everything nicely labeled. I don't have to maybe think about, oh, what's going on in the Xbox store. I've got a little window on my home screen. These are the sales that are happening right now. This is what we think you'd be interested in. Here's your games. Here's your downloads. Here's Game Pass. All easily accessible straight away. And they've, like you said, they've built on that from the original UIs. So if you've got any familiarity, you're going to find it easy. But if you've never touched an Xbox before either, you're not going to have to worry about any of these features. If you're worried about where your sound is, it's in your sound, which is a nice microphone button.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point in terms of familiarity there and intuitive, whether it's intuitive or not. Do we think that maybe the PlayStation 5 one might be a little bit harder because it's new, as opposed to the Xbox being more of an evolution, so you got used to it? Or
if it is, there's still. Sorry, Sandy. I was just going to say, if it is harder to get used to, the PlayStation has had the same lifespan as an Xbox. Why does it have to be?
True.
So the whole thing with Xbox familiarity, that's because it's exactly the same dashboard as Xbox One X, and they have a horrible home screen once you go down past that initial block that is helpful. And there were a few things on the One X that I despised, and if they're still there in the series, I'll be very concerned if they don't go away eventually. But obviously the PS5 menu, the features are excellent, if just placed very oddly. I don't know if it's something we'll just get used to, or if Sony will actually add more buttons in as time goes on. I would like them to add folders. Folders would be nice.
Yeah, how much customization do you get?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Big fat 0. Actually, maybe that's a lie. I think you can marginally adjust the buttons and features that are shown when you press the home button. But no, you do not have any say over what order things appear in. If you go to the game library and you click show me installed, order by console, it will only do that while you're looking at that screen. If you go away and come back, it will go back to the standard list. I think it's something that they'll definitely address, but I think with the shortages of stock, they've not really been able to jump in and go, this is what our users definitively want as features.
I mean, it's interesting, the customization on the Xbox. You can customize the background, you can customize how the dashboard looks and the pins underneath and how it's all labeled. If you want to put shortcuts to games on the home screen, you can, or apps or whatever else. You can order games by Game Pass or Gold, or by a variety of things. You do it by console storage or internal storage or whatever, or games that you haven't played for a while or last used, so you can see which ones are taken up, which ones change. I think some of these things are available on PS5 as well. But I think on the UI, specifically on the Xbox, I've kind of lost my train of thought here, to be honest. But specifically on the UI on the Xbox, I think it's just far more intuitive. It's easier to get around from place to place. It's maybe not faster, but I think it's just easier. You get to your games quicker. There is one feature I do like on the PlayStation though. That's actually on the TV and movie stuff. Like if you use it to watch certain TV shows, like say on Disney Plus or Amazon Prime or Netflix, they will appear on your home screen. So you could click to go straight into, like, say, for example, if you're watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, it'll be there, and you can click straight into The Mandalorian from PS5 home screen or whatever. Or it'll recommend you stuff that's to watch on, housing all your apps, kind of like a Sky Q would be, but on the PlayStation 5.
I do also like the way that they split out games and media into separate sections. They're not just lumped together to intermingle.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting topic. I know it's probably a contentious one, but there's not really much in it. Where would this point go to? Are we going with PlayStation? Are we going with Xbox? Luke?
I don't think it's close at all. I've got themes. I can do whatever I want on my Xbox. I don't know why PlayStation took what looks like a backward step in its UI. It seems to be since the PlayStation 3, which I think is a fantastic interface. Never had any issue with that. PlayStation 4 the same. So why now ditch all that? And I can't even change the background of my PlayStation. Like, that to me is insane.
The argument is that people had a new console. We've got a brand new console here in the Xbox, and essentially it just feels like an Xbox One. You bought an Xbox One, you're playing it the day before launch, and then you've got an Xbox Series X or S turn up, and you unbox it, and you put it on. You're expecting to see something different and new, and you're not.
But your backgrounds are moving now.
No, I mean, look, I think the familiarity helps, but I do think it's far more intuitive than the PlayStation.
I think where Xbox loses out is that, as you say, the initial flash, the initial like, oh, I'm on a new console, doesn't really exist for Xbox if you played an Xbox One, because an Xbox Series is just an Xbox One with more power. Also, when you say themes, it doesn't change the icons. It's not themes, it's backgrounds, and you can change the color.
I can change I could put an image there for one.
But,
I don't know. I don't think I call it themes, but I do agree that the PlayStation 3 was the height of PlayStation menus. They should never have moved away from that organization.
I think the best console with themes was the 3DS, personally. But we live to carry on another day. I think the point has to go to the Xbox here. I'm sorry, Sandy. It just...
I think in terms of usability, which is what the UI is all about, Xbox wins this round, but PlayStation may well overtake it in the future if they finally get some updates in there.
There's a lot of potential there, and I think that they haven't taken advantage of that yet. And I honestly think if they just put the themes back in and the ability to change the background, people wouldn't have these arguments.
And bring the icons down from the top.
And folders. Folders is insane that you don't have folders.
And allow us to display the games we own without PlayStation Plus games listed in with them.
Yes, and we decide which ones we play in what order, not you, Sony.
Yeah.
Sony, Microsoft, are you listening to this? Great feedback from the guys here.
Microsoft, flash it up a little bit, and PlayStation, just reorganize things. Just a little bit.
So don't be so nerdy, Microsoft. Big chance.
There you go. Well, that is 4-0 to the Xbox over PlayStation on console clash so far. We've got so many more topics though, so don't.
We'll take you to the cleaners next time.
Yeah, well, there are so many opportunities for PlayStation to catch up. So hopefully they will pick up a W somewhere along the way here. But at the moment, it's another L, PS5, and another win, and chalked up in the Xbox column. But what will happen next time on Console Clash? Join myself, Sandy, and Luke next time when we do record. But for now, guys, it's everything.